This video is sponsored by sellcashier.com. They compare iPhone prices on the internet and give you their instant quote and the most cash for your iPhone. Hey guys, this is Ed with Techvarium. I'm extremely excited to be here with you because what I'm going to show you is something that was just recently released over the last month. What it is, it actually is a fake iPhone 7 Plus, and they're advertising it as basically the top of the line iPhone 7 Plus, of course, but we all know that it's fake, and this is not the first time that we came across one of these devices. So without further ado, let's get into it, and we're going to compare it with this beautiful real Apple iPhone 7 Plus. It's a 256 gigabyte version that is black. Alright guys, so this is pretty typical. What you see on here are the Chinese characters, I believe. And so this is a typical way of packaging these phones when they come from China. But we certainly know that it's going to be a fake device. We just need to take a look and compare and see what we can figure out that's different. So this is the box from this phone right here. So what's on the right is real, what's on the left is fake. And to me it looks actually pretty good. I can't really tell you that there's that much of a difference, but definitely the quality of the print is different, so the resolution is much higher on the real one. So let's go ahead and cut it open and see what's inside and what does it really come with. So this is a nicer quality from what I've seen in the past. There's no glue inside. It looks fairly clean. Comes with the SIM removal tool and some instructions. They're claiming it as an iPhone and instructions, but we won't worry about that. What we're really interested in is the actual handset. And this is what it looks like. And let's go ahead and take all this stuff off. And they do claim that this is a top of the line, so you can see the specs on your screen. And there's that typical protective layer of tape all the way around it. So let's go ahead and turn it on, see if it's charged at all. If not, then we can plug it in for a few minutes. Oh, it looks like it's going to turn itself on, which is pretty good. So I will come back to this in just a second. Let's take a look at the contents real quick. These are extremely low quality, as I've tried it in the past, and fairly poorly wrapped all around. But let's see what else does it come with. So this is what you can expect if you get a fake iPhone 7 Plus that comes directly from China, because not only the quality of the wires is different, right? So this is what we're seeing on here. This is the connector. Let's take a look at the real one. So the real box inside will look a little bit different. I'll set that aside over here. So it's a slide-in sleeve over here, but this is what these look like. These are actually brand new. These are real by Apple. And your headphones, they look like this, right? So it's the same shape. However, the material quality is absolutely different, and your adapter over here is completely separate. It's not attached to the actual. So this is not supposed to look that way. These look similar but not identical. So let's set that aside. Let's take a look and see what we see on the screen. So this is your welcome screen, and the first thing that we notice that's different, this is basically a standard layout, so you guys can take a look at it. It's set for January 8th. You have icons that are a little bit different here, but if we go on to, and we're getting the reinstall maps message, which certainly is not supposed to happen, but let's go back out and let's take a look at the home screen. Now I can tell you the haptic feedback on the real iPhone is very, very pleasant. But at the same time, on the fake 7 Plus, it vibrates so strongly that it almost feels as if the entire lower panel vibrates with your thumb. Alright guys, so let's take a look at another feature here. We'll take a look at the Touch ID next. I'm going to try to set it up with a fingerprint. And this is where it's done. And we're going to add a fingerprint. And I'll use my thumb for that. And that definitely takes a second, and it requires a considerable amount of pressure on the button. And what I'm going to do here is I'll use my thumb for this, but I'll try to unlock it by an index finger, and we'll see if that works. So we're going to use it to unlock the iPhone, and we'll do this just in case it doesn't work. Alright, so as I'm pressing this, finger 1 entry on here changes colors. So I'm going to turn off the screen and we'll see what happens. So this did work. Let's go back to the home screen, do this, and we'll try to use my index finger to get it unlocked. And it doesn't work. So this is very surprising. I am actually glad to see that this finally works. This feature has been announced on these phones before, but it actually did not work in the past. And now it's finally a functional feature as announced. So let's try this one more time. Works with the thumb, does not work with the index finger. All right, so this is something that's actually working on this handset. Let's take a look at the settings and see what we can find there. So the layout is certainly different. We can tell the difference in resolution, but in order to figure out if it's anywhere close to the real one, at least let's turn up the brightness here. Pretty close, I would say, but not close enough. And I think this is something that we've expected, something that we've seen before on multiple occasions. I think every single fake iPhone that I've unboxed in front of the camera had all sorts of issues in the layout and how they operate. See how smooth the real iPhone is. It's extremely smooth, it's extremely fluid. You don't have this here. But this is not the worst I've seen. Let's take a look and see how they're different on the outside. So first of all, the size is a complete match. This is something that these third-party manufacturers are actually doing extremely well, and the material feel is actually really good. It feels almost like the real one, but the first thing that you would actually notice here is the difference in the color of the flash that's on the back cover of the phone. And also it does look like two cameras, but we're actually going to see how it operates in just a second. Again, the haptic feedback is completely different. This is certainly not a real iPhone. You would be able to recognize this. So if you ever decide to get this somewhere on eBay or Craigslist, so then all you really have to do is bring a friend with a real iPhone to compare it against, or simply meet the seller at the Apple store. All right, let's take a look and see what we see inside. And so this is not supposed to be happening. This is just a glitch of some sort. As you know, that it is a Android that's running the iOS skin over it, and this is why it's not operating as well as it should, or as you would expect from a real iPhone. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually putting it's not an active SIM card, and it does say no service, but it doesn't ask for an activation or anything like that. The screen flickers a couple of times. It's probably trying to look for service. So let's go ahead and try another SIM card and see if it says anything different with this right here, which is by Sprint. So we know that once I put it in there, if it doesn't say anything like activate an iPhone or connect to the network or whatever, we know that this phone is unlocked. No service, but again, the screen flickers, and there's really no activation message that you are seeing on here on your screens right now, which is a good thing. Which is, at the very least, if you decide to get one for yourself and you're gonna play around with it, you can at least use it as a phone, most likely. So we can just leave the SIM card in there, and let's take a look and see what the FaceTime looks like. And we get Skype. Skype is something that's currently released by Microsoft, which is awesome, but this is not an iPhone feature that comes by default. We can take a look at the camera, see how well it does, and see how much delay you have. It's lagging non-stop. This is not supposed to happen. All right. Not going to reinstall maps, but what I will do in just a second, I will connect this phone to the internet, and this is extremely blurry. This is very, very blurry. This is an extremely low quality picture. So this camera in the back is what they claim the dual camera. I can only hypothesize which one of them is the actual camera that does work. This is extremely low quality. This is actually one of the worst fake iPhone cameras that I've seen in the last couple of years. Alright guys, so now that I have the Wi-Fi hotspot shared off my Lumia 950, let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and connect it. So those of you who have actually seen the previous unboxing of the previous fake iPhone, I believe it was a iPhone 6s, I had issues connecting it to the web, to the Wi-Fi network. So it looks like the Wi-Fi module is working a lot better here. Let's do weather.com. As you know, that it's a very information dense website, and so we can probably judge how well this phone just performs overall. But none of these actually did very, too well in the past. So this is weather.com. This is how long it takes to open it. I really can't say that this is amazing. And the hotspot on the Lumia 950 is actually always consistently working fairly well with laptops and tablets. There will be another video coming out soon where I will be running some benchmarks on both of these phones just to kind of compare the two and just show you how vastly different they are. So we're going to try the App Store. This is just to demonstrate that this is a completely different ecosystem. This is an Android device rather than a device running iOS like an Apple iPhone right there. Extremely generic. And where it says the iPhone, you can certainly change it to anything. I will, for instance, we'll call it iPhone 23, and I'm sure that will be just fine. But that's completely irrelevant. It does say that the capacity is 125 gigabytes. I will play around with it later. I will try to play some music on it and see how that performs. You do have the version date from January of this year, so this in fact was recently released. I don't know what manufacturer this comes from, and it claims that this is iOS 10.1.1 and that the software is up to date, and again we know that this is not real. As always, I'm going to suggest against buying one of these because this is not real, this is fake, and in my opinion it's going to be just a waste of money. Even if you want to impress someone that you have this fake iPhone 7 Plus, what I would recommend if you want to get an iPhone, go for the previous generation. Go for a 6 Plus or a 6S Plus. Don't buy this. This is going to be a complete waste of money. Alright guys, so please stay tuned for a fake versus real iPhone 7 Plus benchmarks video and also the camera comparison video. Please subscribe to Titquarium and I will see you in my next video very soon. I wanted to tell you about sellcashier.com. So you just got your new iPhone. What will you do with your old one? You may be thinking of selling it on eBay, Craigslist, and so on, and it is definitely a hassle. Now you don't have to do that. Now you can sell it through sellcashier.com. They compare the actual prices of iPhones and give you the best price for your iPhone that you are trying to sell, and the good thing is that you are guaranteed the best rate, and you also get a free shipping label. Thank you for watching, and please check out sellcashier.com.